Hi parents, this is Mrs. Rock and I just wanted to give you a little video to let you know how to use the home guides for our CCD curriculum. As I said in my email, unfortunately there's a key component to our lesson packets that are currently sitting in all of the CCD classrooms right now. In order to not stress kids out or have things lost before they were presented, all of these activity you might find in your child's packets, they're just given out once a week. So all of the lessons 16 through 20 plus the liturgical lessons that were planned for the rest of the school year are unfortunately in the classrooms. But I wanted to give you at least a little something to do at home to help us keep on pace so that we don't need to do any makeup lessons at another time. I also don't want to have you sitting on a webinar with catechists. You're going to be sitting on a lot of webinars, I'm sure, over the next month, maybe even 2 months. So what I wanted to do was go through, and I'm going to share my screen to show you also the lesson components. So all of your children should at home have their CCD bags, which have this folder in it that says Discover on it, and inside they're completed lesson activity booklets, as well as this book, Though We Know and Live Our Faith, which is sort of like the textbook, and then their folders plus your Catholic Children's Bible. Okay, so these are the components that you're going to be using. I'm going to share my screen right now to show you. I'm going to use the 3rd grade curriculum, which is what Intermediate 1 uses. That's because my son is in that class and I have those with me. So what I'm going to be sending out to you is a link that will bring up this home guide. Okay, so when you click on 3rd grade, this PDF will pop up. If you scroll down, you'll see the table of contents. Pretty much everyone is just about done with Unit 3, I think. So almost all the lessons are Unit 4. Are not going to cover any of these liturgical season lessons. We will do those when we resume in-person classes. So what I'm sending home is a document that looks kind of like this, but it's in a PDF form. So over here are the proposed dates. Again, you do not need to do them on Mondays. You could do one a day for an entire week if you want. It's up to you. It's what works for your family. But these are the lessons that are coming up, okay? So Intermediate 1 is what I'm going to use as an example. Unit 4, lesson 16. So that begins, sorry, before I jump ahead, you'll see this page. This shows you what the curriculum guide looks like. So understanding the home guide, on each of the pages, here's where the lesson goals are. Parent preview, that's like if you want to read the featured story ahead of time and you might want to read a reflection, it'll tell you what to do to prepare before the lesson. These are the lesson components: the get ready, dive in, discover, and go. This is what your child's lesson looks like in the CCD classroom. It has these 4 components. But this guide is specific to parents who are doing this curriculum at home. So it has been altered a little bit. Unfortunately, anywhere where it says, and let me zoom in so you can see this, anywhere in this guide where it says activity booklet, you don't have that. I am so sorry. Maybe we will rethink that policy of keeping the advanced lessons in the classroom in case this ever happens again. So in actuality, while you have, minutes kind of here that might be suggesting how long each section will take, it's going to be a lot shorter because your children are not going to be doing the activities. Then there's always like a second page of lessons. And so some of your instructions here on the dive in or the discover might have you read this article. See, by article, it's like 4 paragraphs, okay? Then you might want to go over the keywords, which are also, I believe, all, I think you can still see my face up here in the corner of your screen. In the We Know and Live Our Faith book, There's a glossary in the back. Vocabulary is very important when we're teaching catechesis because this is how the kids start to memorize the key aspects of our faith and are able to internalize those things and understand them. So definitely always go over the key words, read the definitions, but also explain what those mean. And then there's some review questions. And also there's always a section in the We Know and Live Our Faith to read to understand and enhance the lesson. Okay, so that's what each of the lessons look like. I'm just going to fast forward to in this particular one where lesson 16 begins. So you see the lesson goals. So these are what your children should be able to know and understand at the end of the lesson. The parent preview, what you should kind of do ahead of time. But again, you know, this activity booklet isn't at home. So there's only so much you can do. So you'll see that it actually tells you that this lesson is going to take 60 minutes. That is not even close to how long this is going to take you because you're missing some things. Also, this is an interactive PDF, so you can check it off as you do it, which I think is pretty cool. So as you'll notice, I'm just going to go through this lesson and actually pull the component parts out for you so that you can see. You're not going to pray the prayer on page 1 of the activity booklet because you don't have it. Ask your child to show how she or he looks when worried or panicked. Point out that the apostles felt that way when Jesus asked them to share the good news. That might take you, 1 minute. And then tell your child that focuses on how Jesus promised to send the Holy Spirit to help the apostles. So that might take you 1 or 2 minutes. Then you're going to read the feature story on page 1710 of the Catholic Children's Bible. So I'm going to stop the share for a real quick second. In the Catholic Children's Bible, it's very, very thick. You'll just find the page number. We're going to, for this particular lesson, it's going to be on 1710. So what you do is, sorry, I should have had the page turned already. So here is what it is. It's what you'll open to that page is called the featured story, okay? And over here where the green leaf is, that's the story. But it also tells you on that page that if you turn back, you'll see the longer, the full story is Acts chapter 1, 3 through 11. This is just giving you verses 8 through 11. I think I've instructed all of your catechists, and they've been doing this, to go ahead and read the entire thing. So they'll read starting here at the green leaf, if you turn back a page, so verse 3, through the end of the green leaf. So that just gives a little bit more of the context of the story. It's a good idea to read both. Read verses 3 through 11, and then read just the featured story. So I'm going to share my screen again. We're going to go back to the home guide. So it'll tell you right here what to do. Read the featured story, then ask your child these questions, okay? Whom did Jesus say he would send to his followers? The Holy Spirit. What does it mean to be a witness for Jesus? To announce the truth. Where did Jesus go after he spoke to his followers? Don't just give them the answer right away. Definitely always, go back, ask them to read the story again. If your children are not reading yet, read it again with them. See if they can point those things out. Then you go over to the next side of the page and you read the Understand It, Live It, and Tell It section. So I'm going to stop my share again. So the featured stories on this side, which is my camera is inverted. That's the left side. The right side is the Understand It, Live It, and Tell It section. So you just read those through with your kids. I'm going to share my screen again. Then you'll notice that sometimes it says invite your child to complete the activity. Obviously you can't do that. You don't have the activity. Then you'll read the article on the second page. It's right here. It's not really a very long article. It's that one's 5 paragraphs. Some of them are shorter. So read that. You won't do the activity guide, activity in the booklet. Then the go. The go is like where you kind of choose to do something that encompasses the featured story. Okay, so you're not going to choose a family activity, but see on this one there is on page 3. So this you could print out and do that in place of the activity booklet. So you'll skip the choose, you might do the encourage, and then it says conclude by praying a prayer. Just pick any one of our wonderful Catholic prayers to pray. Maybe the Glory Be or a Hail Mary. And that's about it. That's all you have to do. You can use this other page. Actually, I'm sorry, in place of the activity booklets, you definitely should read the We Know and Live Our Faith section, which again uses this book, which should be in everybody's folders. We Know and Live Our Faith. There are some activities in this book, just so you know. So definitely read through each lesson. So really, to read, the biggest part of your lesson is reading, the featured story and the understand it, live it, tell it. It probably could take you maybe 15 to 20 minutes. And then if in the home guide, there's an activity to print out, you could do that. So again, I know that your children are going to spend a lot of time on webinars, or doing packet learning through the schools over the next couple of weeks. So I don't want faith formation to stress you out, but this is a time in which you really do need to stay connected to your faith. Also, make sure you're following us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and receiving the whole parish flock notes, because we are going to share resources to celebrate Holy Week and such through that. So I thank you so much for watching this short video to understand how to do the lessons at home. And I hope very much that we can be in person again very soon. So thank you, and I hope that you have a very blessed Holy Week at home.